Hi, Martin here. Today I want to talk to you and show you how to cure the problems on your 3.7 4.7 liter Dodge Jeep and Chrysler, the sludging problem that you might be seeing inside your oil fill cap here, and the freezing problems up north in your very cold climates where the breather tube literally freezes, and then this causes some engine related problems as far as rough idling, poor gas mileage, and so on. All right, let's get started. All right, first we're just going to start by removing all the plumbing, basically, of the old system. This is where my hose goes to for the intake manifold, which would run directly to the PVC line. This is on the 08 intake only. And now here on the right side as well. Alright, now remove the hose that goes from the PVC at the oil fill tube back to your intake manifold. A lot of times this hose can be very brittle and just break. Alright, just so you can get a better visual on what's going on. I got this engine here, 4.7 on a stand. Now, here's your typical oil fill tube. You got your PVC valve right here. PCV, not PVC. And then your tube going to the back. You need to disconnect this right here. Now you got a couple options. Either you get yourself another oil fill tube, this one coming off an 07 Dodge Durango. They also saw one on a Dodge Nitro 07. Or you don't actually need to do that. You can get yourself a 1/2-inch vacuum plug and simply just plug this up here, and that's good to go. If aesthetics aren't important to you, this is totally functional still. Now, what you couldn't see before when I was removing it from the Grand Cherokee, here we got the back side of the engine, and here's the tube that goes up to the PCV valve. And then you need to remove that, and that can come out. Then you got each tube running from one bank to the other bank. That also needs to come off. And what you can do here, okay, we're going to leave that one right there for now. Okay, you can see the fitting right back there where I pulled the hose off of. All right, using a 19mm, I want you to remove this fitting right here from the left bank. Now with the new PVC valve, PCV, you can install that. All right, install the valve. Now I'm finding it rather hard with this adjustable wrench to get back there and get much of a swing on it at all, because this is so big. Now, with like these robo grips I've had, they work okay. It's just kind of slow going. Now if you are having a hard time getting a wrench on that, but you happen to have a 36mm or a 1 3/8 socket, Both of those will work. They are actually too large to fit properly. Now a deep socket would actually work best. I don't have either one of those in a deep, but if you set the socket on there, then put your ratchet on, because the ratchet will not fully fit in there, but it's still good enough that you're able to tighten it up. And you really don't need to get it that tight. Alright, now once you get the PCV valve installed, this piece right here, it's kind of important. It has a nice elbow to it. This is the same fitting you'd find on the 07 that I got the oil fill tube from. Now, when I was trying to remove it, it broke off. Unfortunately, it's not that bad of a place to break off at. So what it did is it ran from here on the 07s down to the intake manifold. Now I need to do the same thing. Now I got this piece of breather hose. I got this off a 98 or 99 Dodge Durango with the 5.2 liter motor. And it carries that number right there. Now what I like about it, it's got this nice preformed 90 to it. It's got a good length to it. And it fits on the end of the intake right there really well. And you can run it right up here, cut it to length, and this part would then be done. Attaching it to the bottom of the intake manifold. If you have an older style intake, it may be up here, this location, much higher. They'll still work. Get the proper length. Alright, and there we are. Alright, if you can't come up with this piece right here, I'm going to show you an alternative to getting this. By using the elbow that was down here on the intake manifold. Now you could put it on here and route it around, or what I did here is I just turned it upward, cut off a small piece of that tubing, put it in here, and then using that hose I showed you earlier, I love these valves here, and the reason is it does have an arrow on it indicating a direction, which does work fine for us. I mean, it does still allow air to pass through both ways, but if you saw the inside of it, you'd understand why it has a direction. But anyway, this end is 5/8, and this end here is 1/2 inch. So I love that part of it because this down here is 1/2 inch, this up here is 5/8. So it gives you that conversion. Now, using a piece of radiator hose, and this is a hose that I had on my vehicle, and I just changed them out because I did a different routing of the hoses. So these were still in good shape, and I just cut a piece off of it. And there you have it. And this, you can cut it to the point to where this still fits underneath your cowl of your vehicle, if you have that on your vehicle, like the Grand Cherokee does. Alright, and there's the hose that cut to length. Now, the piece that went from the left to right cylinder head, and then this piece that ran up to your air silencer box, I'm going to reuse a good portion of that. What I'm all going to do is cut right here and here, and then the elbow that I removed from the bottom of the intake manifold, I'm going to place it right there. After cutting this section out right there, and then using that elbow right here, end it with this piece here. Okay, we're ready to install this. And now this just simply runs back up to my ram air system. Now what Chrysler suggests is The tube that I'm running to my air silencer box is that you plug that and then run this one directly to the top side of your air filter box. Okay, I'm out here at Pickup Part. This is an '07 Dodge Durango, and you can see they corrected the problem by running a line up here to the air box on back, right there to that side of the cylinder head. Now, if your model doesn't have that feature already, you could use the fitting that you unscrewed where you put the PVC valve. Drill a hole, and I would drill it slightly smaller and let this cut the threads into the plastic. Do not put any kind of nut on the back side of it, because that's a possibility that nut could come off and that be drawn into your air intake and into your manifold and do serious engine damage. So once you get this screwed into your air filter box, then you'd run this hose directly to it, and then that portion would be done. Alright, after removing the old oil fill tube, just 4 bolts, 8mm socket works well. Here I'm reinstalling the new one. I like this one much better, it's just a cleaner look. And if you're doing a used one, you may want to put a new gasket on it. Transfer my oil cap. Well, I want to thank you for watching. Sure appreciate it. And always appreciate the thumbs up, and if you didn't like it, hit that thumbs down twice. If you never subscribed to me before, please hit that subscribe button right down there and that little bell symbol right next to it, and that way you get notifications of any upcoming videos as I post them. Alright, thanks again.